Hey there everyone, I'm Ashley Bullington and you're watching The Campfire. Yes, I know, it's very saddening. This is the last edition of The Campfire for this summer, but what better way to end our fantastic summer camp season than with the District of Doom 11-6A. Yes, you heard me right. 11-6A is deemed the Metroplex new District of Doom. And here's why. Cedar Hill, DeSoto, Duncanville, Mansfield, Mansfield Lake Ridge, Waco, Waco Midway, and Waxahachie. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? I know you see it. DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, all great teams in this 11-6A district. Who do you think, though, will take the district crown? Go to our Twitter account and vote. It's at IHSSDFW. We have a quick trivia question for you as well. Which team was Waxahachie alumni Paul Richards not the general manager of? A, the Houston Colt 45s, B, Atlanta Braves, C, Chicago White Sox, or D, the Baltimore Orioles? I've told you once, I will tell you 1,000 times. I am not here to make these trivia questions easy on you, especially for my last episode of the summer. So if you think you've got it right, go anywhere that you can find The Campfire. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And leave a comment of what you think the correct answer is. Also, if you are a podcast person, you're in luck. The Campfire comes in podcast form. You can go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and find our entire catalog of Inside High School Sports Podcast. Now it's time for the film session presented by your local North Texas Geico agents. 11-6A is clearly the most dominant district in the Metroplex, with 3 state title contenders in the district. It all starts with Duncanville, who will be going for their 3rd straight state title game appearance. Jaquindon Jackson moved on to the University of Texas, and sophomore Chris Parson transferred to Red Oak, so Duncanville will be breaking in a new quarterback. The Panthers have ridiculous talent all over the place, led by offensive lineman Savion Byrd and athlete Roderick Daniels. Defensively, they are a who's who of D1 prospects, so they should be able to shut down most of their opponents. DeSoto is also a title contender. Claude Mathis brings back Samari Collier, behind center who threw for 33 touchdowns last year. Jaden Wilson and transfer Jaron Bradley will be his main targets, and the Eagle defense will be stout as well, led by Byron Murphy. Just down the road on Beltline, Cedar Hill is gearing up for what could be a huge year as well. Tennessee commit Caden Salter will be using his dual threat abilities to help the Longhorns put up points, while Brian Rainey will lead a talented receiving corps. Mansfield Lake Ridge had a disappointing year for their standards, going 5-5, but head coach Kirk Thor will try to find a way to get a playoff spot behind stud defensive lineman Braylon Jackson. Meanwhile, Mansfield and Waxahachie will have to be on their A games during district play, as this district is stacked. Also in the district is Waco Power, Midway, and Waco University, so look for amazing games week in and week out. And those great teams are made up of phenomenal athletes. The North Texas Honda dealers want to recognize the players on the rise, those players destined to lead their team to victory. Waxahachie wide receiver Braden Hawkins is going into his senior year ready to go with his Indian squad. As a junior, Hawkins had 1,150 receiving yards and 15 total touchdowns. He had 93 receptions and averaged 105 receiving yards per game. Look for him to have an even bigger 2020 season. 4-star offensive tackle Savion Byrd is ready to bring home a state title to Titletown after 2 trips to Jerry World that just missed the trophy. Byrd is an Under Armour All-American that for the Panthers is utilized on both sides of the ball. He is in the top 50 players in the country and ranked number 6 in Texas. Byrd has 21 college offers to play in any of the Power 5 conferences. Defensive lineman Byron Murphy will be a big piece of the DeSoto defense in 2020. Murphy was a first-team All-State selection in 2019. With the District of Doom in front of them, the defensive unit will need to stay strong, playing against juggernaut offenses. Cedar Hill dual threat quarterback Caden Salter came on the scene last season. Overnight, Salter became one of the most touted prospects in the nation with a 4-star ranking. He is a Tennessee commit and was invited to the Elite 11 and was named the 7-6A MVP as a junior. Look for him to be utilized much more versatilely in the 2020 season. Another Baylor commit for the 2021 class is Duncanville wide receiver Roderick Daniels. Daniels was the 8-6A offensive MVP and was utilized for his hands and his speed with the Panthers. In 2019, he had 557 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns, with another 749 receiving yards and 7 more touchdowns. And those athletes have accomplished great things on the gridiron. But do you know somebody from the high school sports scene accomplishing great things in your community? A player, coach, or team going that extra mile. Nominate them for the North Texas Honda Dealers Helpful Heroes. To nominate, go to ihsshelpfulheroes.com and stay tuned to our social media accounts to see if your nomination is highlighted. Now we have our Media Day segment. We talk to coaches about their teams and the district they'll be seeing for the 2020 season.
All right, we're joined now by DeSoto head coach Claude Mathis. Claude, a longtime, Coach Mathis, a longtime friend of the show, back at DeSoto last year for the first time after being a short detour out east, out to Marshall. And we're happy to have him back. He's always gives us good insight. And Coach, thanks for stopping by and talking with us today.
Glad to be back, James. Glad to be back.
All right, well, first of all, just catch us up. It's been a long off season, to say the least. Going to be the longest either one of us has ever experienced. Tell us when you kick off. I know a lot of schedules have changed. Who are you kicking off with? And when does it start?
Heck, I'm hoping it doesn't change as soon as we get off this thing right here, but it's Zoom talk with you right now. It's been changing almost every week. It's been difficult. It's been some difficult months. It has been really some months that it's been hard, and you coming and you're going, you coming and going, just get mentally drained, and we just got to stay mentally tough right now. So it's been a tough 3 months across here at DeSoto for sure with our kids and trying to get back into things and trying to get our kids back. I'm just so happy right now to have our kids back. It was tough not having them. I can tell you that it was really tough not having them. But we started back up with them this week, so we're very excited. But we kick off the season with Converse Judson on October the 2nd, I think. I think that's a Friday. And we're supposed to have played at McLean Stadium at Baylor. We're not going to be playing there now. I don't think. They're going to be coming down here. So we kick off for Converse Judson. I know they're probably a top team, ranked team in the state of Texas. And great tradition there down at Judson. So it's going to be a wonderful ball game.
With that all said, let's talk about the fun part of it, the thing that we all live for. And you do have a season to look forward to. Thanks to the UIL, I think they've done a great job of doing what they can to make this happen. It really has been such a effort amongst so many people because the kids are what matter the most here, and we want them to have that senior season. So just talk about, your realignment, going back to February before all this got going, didn't do you any favors. You've got a really challenging schedule, but I know you wouldn't have it any other way too.
No, we wouldn't. And I know that, when it comes to UIL, they have done a fantastic job this year when communicating with us and setting down the rules and boundaries when it comes to the COVID-19. That has not been an easy situation for those guys right there. And they've handled it with first class. And I can't give those guys enough credit down there in Austin, Texas, because they're one of the reasons why we're playing right now and the reason why that we're going on with our season right now. So kudos to the UIL. Dr. Bryden and his crew down there, man, they've done an awesome job. Now, going on with the season right now is excellent. It's fantastic. I'm glad we're going on with the season. It's just that, our guys got to stay safe, and that's what we got to continue to preach right now. But just going on right now with the roller coaster rides and everything, with those guys doing what they're doing right now, we just got to continue to follow rules and regulations right now, continue to keep our kids safe.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you came back last season came home, so to speak. Really, I don't think people can think of DeSoto without thinking of Claude Mathis, and what you've meant to that community there and how the kids have all how they play for you. Just talk about what it's like for you as a coach to have such an incredible group of kids. I mean, there's not many high schools in the country that have the kind of kids and the kind of abilities that your kids have. What's that like for you to be able to take kids that may be a little bit raw, but certainly have the talent to put together a great team year in and year out?
Well, some people think that we just show up and we just throw our kids out on the field and they just play, but we don't. I mean, our kids work very hard. Our kids work very hard in the classroom to show the academic ability that they can compete with anybody across the nation when it comes to their academics, as well as their play on the field. But our coaches coach their tails off, and we're teachers first. And I always tell our coaches that in order for our kids to be successful, we have to teach our kids. So the fundamentals are very big with us right now, and it's going to continue to be big with us. And we just can't roll the ball out on the field and play. Our kids understand they have to put the work in and the time in. And, that's from both coaches as well as from our kids right there. So as long as we do that, we're fine. But it's not easy. I can tell you that right now. Our guys work hard just like everybody else work hard. And we're going to continue to do that. And we're not going to be no slouches or anything like that, but we take it to heed. And we got a hunch on our shoulder right now. We're not happy right now. I guarantee you, we're not happy last year and how that happens. And people just think we have a lot of talent and we don't work. That's not the case here at DeSoto. We work our tails off, and our coaches put a lot of time with these kids. But I can't commend our kids enough right now. Our kids have put a lot of time in over the last 4 or 5 months in order to get to this point to where we are right now. So we're ready.
Coach, thanks for joining us and giving us your insight on District 11 6A. Good luck to you and your team in the 2020 season. We'll be right back after a couple messages from our sponsors.
The North Texas Honda dealers recognize members of our high school sports community who take time out to be helpful heroes. Nominate a helpful hero today at ihsshelpfulheroes.com. The film session is brought to you by your local North Texas Geico agents. To find is near you, go to geico.com/DFW. The District Breakdown is presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. These teams make it look easy, just like GiveMeTheVin.com makes it easy to sell your vehicle.
Welcome back to the Campfire. I think you see now why this is called the District of Doom and why we saved it for our last edition of the Campfire for this summer. I mean, the teams are great. There's loads of D1 talent throughout the entire district, and the coaches have created phenomenal winning cultures around their programs. There's so much that we need to unravel about District 11 6A. Now it's time for the District Breakdown presented by GiveMeTheVin.com. We welcome in Inside High School Sports Insider Ryan Harris to unravel more of this district for you. Ryan?
Thanks, Ashley. I can't believe we're already to our last district breakdown of the season. We aren't done yet though, as we still have one of the best districts in the state to cover, so let's get into it. District 11 features state powers Duncanville, Cedar Hill, and DeSoto, along with some other talented schools from the Metroplex and 2 schools from Waco. Let's take a look at how the playoff race might shake out. My pick to win District 11 is the Duncanville Panthers. It's hard to pick against a team that has made back-to-back state championship appearances. On the flip side, Duncanville lost more talent at the quarterback position over the offseason than some schools have ever had. The graduation of All-American Jaquindon Jackson hurt, but Chris Parson looked more than capable and ready to fill Jackson's shoes. In late June, Parson transferred to Red Oak. Now, when I did my preview for Red Oak, Parson hadn't yet transferred, so watch out for that Red Oak team as a contender in 5A. But that leaves Duncanville with a massive question mark at quarterback. Whoever steps in to play quarterback for the Panthers will have plenty of talent on both sides of the ball to help them out. The new QB will be well protected as well, as Duncanville has maybe the most talented offensive line in the state. 4-star recruit Savion Bird is back for his senior season and had his choice of nearly any school in the nation to play college ball at. Jalen Early and Cameron Williams are both juniors and 4-star recruits with a long list of offers as well. Those 3 form a nasty 3-headed monster up front for the offensive line. Baylor commit Roderick Daniels will be the top target in the passing game, and junior Jarrell Powers has an offer from Arkansas and is a talented receiver as well. Tight end Marcus Vincent holds an offer from Kansas and will be a threat in the passing game too. The defensive side of the ball is just as loaded as the offensive side of the ball. It starts with linebacker and Alabama commit Kendrick Blackshire. The linebacking core adds 3-star recruit Jordan Crook to form a hard-hitting duo in the front 7. The secondary is led by SMU commit Jadarius Thursby at safety. The defensive line is a talented unit as well. Kevin Ivey is a UNLV commit, and Tyler Quinn is heading to Colorado State. Amari Arbor is just a junior and a 4-star recruit and might be the best of the defensive linemen. Duncanville could line up Pierre Goree in any number of positions, and he'll play wherever he's needed. Goree is a versatile talent with offers from Arkansas and Michigan. The talent is there for a return trip to the state championship game, but Duncanville needs to find a quarterback in order to do so. Duncanville will have 2 challengers for the district crown, and both are located on Beltline. DeSoto is my pick to finish as the runner-up in this district with tons of returning talent. The Eagles return star quarterback and Illinois commit Samari Collier. He'll be well protected by UConn commit Yakiri Walker and a talented offensive line. DeSoto has tons of talent at wide receiver for Collier to get the ball to. Jaron Bradley is a Texas Tech commit, and he'll be the top target along with Arkansas commit Jaden Wilson. Also keep an eye on rising sophomore Jonte Cook II. Cook already has double-digit scholarship offers, including offers from Auburn and Oklahoma State. The offense is loaded with talent, but so is the defense. DeSoto might have the best defensive line in the state. The tandem of 4-star recruit Shamar Turner and Baylor commit Byron Murphy II will wreak havoc on opposing backfields. The secondary has plenty of talent, with Colorado State commit Lathan Adams and Devin Bobby leading the way. DeSoto might have the best sophomore class in the state, which will give the Eagles depth. I love this DeSoto team, and I think the Eagles could be in for a big season. The other school off Beltline is Cedar Hill. The Horns finished last season with a 9-3 record and a heartbreaking loss to Denton Guyer in the playoffs. The only reason Guyer was able to win that game was by recovering onside kicks and keeping Cedar Hill's star quarterback Caden Salter on the sidelines. Salter is a Tennessee commit and is back for his farewell tour with the Longhorns. Outside of Salter, Cedar Hill has some questions on offense. The Longhorns returned just 1 starter on the offensive line, and the receiving core is young. The good news for those receivers is Salter is one of the most accurate quarterbacks I have ever seen, and he throws a pretty ball too. It's my guess that Cedar Hill's receiving core will be well known by the end of the year, due in part to having a great quarterback. Running back Kevin Young is back and will be relied on heavily. The defense returns 7 starters, led by Texas Tech commit Charles Esters III at defensive end. Cornerback Amarian Williams is committed to Liberty, and he'll lead the secondary. This team has plenty of talent, though Carlos Lynn's squad will need to find some additional playmakers on offense at wide receiver and along the offensive line. I have Waco Midway grabbing the last playoff spot in District 11. Midway finished last season with a 10-4 record and returned senior quarterback Jared Moore. Midway made a run to the state championship game a few years ago and has the talent to make the playoffs in this district. Now, if Midway doesn't make the playoffs, I have the Mansfield Tigers taking the last spot, and I'll explain why. Mansfield will challenge Midway for that 4th spot, and I wouldn't sleep on the Tigers this year. Former Mansfield head coach Daniel Mayberry passed away in February, and I know his squad's going to come out playing some inspired football to honor their coach. Longtime Mansfield assistant Greg George takes over, but this is still Mayberry's team. Mansfield returns 10 starters from a team that finished 4-6 last season. Among those returning starters is quarterback Hunt Young, who is expected to have a big season. Denario Davenport is a talented playmaker at running back, and wide receiver David Godsey is drawing FBS interest as well. River Gordon and Cole Harden will lead a solid offensive line. Braden Moore and Max Harris form a dynamic duo at linebacker to lead the defense. And rising sophomore Caden Cutler saw the field as a freshman and could make an impact in a number of positions. I'll have my eyes on the Mansfield Tigers this season, as I expect them to play Mayberry strong. Mansfield Lake Ridge will be another team to keep an eye on this season, as one that could sneak into the playoffs. The Eagles finished 5-5 last season, due in part to playing in a tough district. Lake Ridge's district only gets tougher this season. The Eagles return 10 starters, but don't return a quarterback or running back from last year's team. The new backfield will need to adjust to varsity football quickly to be ready for district play. The offensive line will be led by Nate Bennett and Jordan Allen. The defense will be led by 3-star recruit Braylon Jackson at defensive end. There should be some solid play in the trenches, but Lake Ridge needs to find playmakers at skill positions to be competitive. Waxahachie has some work to do in 2020 after a 2-8 finish to the 2019 season. The Indians will lean on 13 returning starters from last year's squad, but improving on that record will be tough to do in one of the deepest districts in the state. Wide receiver Brandon Hawkins is back after putting up over 1,000 yards a year ago. The defense returns a solid secondary with Preston Hodge and Quincy Johnson leading the way. That leaves the Waco Lions. Waco has finished just 1-9 in each of the last 2 seasons. I'm not sure the Lions will be able to prove on that record over the course of the next 2 seasons playing in this district, but I will stay tuned to find out. And now for my last player and team to watch of the summer. My player to watch in District 11 is Cedar Hill quarterback Caden Salter. If Cedar Hill is to go on a deep playoff run, Salter will be the one to take them there. Even if Cedar Hill finishes behind Duncanville and DeSoto, the Horns will be the top seed in the district for Division II. Navigating the Division II playoffs is a little easier than Division I, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Salter carry the Longhorns to the state title game. I expect a big season out of the Tennessee commit, and I also expect for Cedar Hill to advance deeper in the playoffs this year than it did last year. My team to watch for District 11 is the DeSoto Eagles. DeSoto has enough returning talent to challenge Duncanville for the district crown. I really like quarterback Samari Collier and the talent surrounding him. DeSoto is one of my dark horse contenders to make a run to the state championship game, and I absolutely wouldn't be surprised to see them do it. That's all I have for District 11. I've enjoyed doing these district breakdowns each and every week with you, Ashley. I'll throw it back to you one last time.
Ryan, another great segment with awesome insight. Thank you so much. Guys, we did it. We made it through all of our districts for the Metroplex. We've gone through so much content over the last 20 weeks. I can't believe it's finally here. I know you're all sad though that the Campfire is done for now, but we will still be bringing you a ton of content on Inside High School Sports DFW. So follow our social accounts. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm Ashley Bullington, and thank you for joining me around the campfire.